Okay, we're back with more with Sarasota City Commission candidate Suzanne Atwell. Suzanne, today you got some good news. You received the endorsement of the Sarasota Herald Tribune. My own analysis, and I've been following politics real closely around here, is that carries a lot more weight in certain parts of the counties than it does others. I think in the south part of the county it carries virtually no weight, but probably the area that it carries the most weight is in the city of Sarasota. So how do you feel about that, getting the endorsement?
I feel great about that.
Is that important?
I think that's important because what they have stated, it's all about collaboration, collectivity, and a lot of consolidation. We need to think much more collectively in the city commission. I think we need to change how we run civic government. And I think they see that the skills that I've developed as a psychotherapist, I think will play well in the psychodynamics of the city commission chambers. And I think it starts at the top there with how you conduct, how civil you are in the meetings.
That seems to be their point of emphasis, is that the city commission, and there's been a lot of sniping, and we've read some of the emails in the news of stuff going back and forth. By the way, don't use email. It's kind of dangerous, as we've seen from city commissioners.
Exactly. When you get there.
Yeah, but and that seems to be the issue, is there's needs to be more consensus and more forward, and that's
Exactly.
Do you feel yourself as a consensus builder then?
Absolutely. I think I've had 16 years as a professional, as a not only a resident, a professional, and as a volunteer, that the organizations and boards that I'm on give me that opportunity to be a leader, build consensus, create ideas, and that's a very important thing. And I think I've proven that with all the activities that I've been in, and I think it needs to play out on the City Commission.
Now, the City Commission charter calls for these races to be nonpartisan. In other words, they're Republican, Democrat, and I don't think you're supposed to campaign as a partisan, or I don't think you're supposed to, but how do you feel about that? Do you think that's a good idea, and if so, why?
Well, I think both the Republican and the way I'll answer that is both Republicans and Democrats, the goal is to, especially in the city, to get out the vote. That's what we do. We want to get people to get into the vote in the runoff, and that's what we're doing. I have Republicans supporting me, Democrats supporting me, but the critical thing is to get more people to.
So you think having them as nonpartisan races is a good idea?
Yeah, I think we can keep it as a nonpartisan, but I think people, friends, people that you work with, that campaign with you, whatever party they are, absolutely. And I have it from a lot of different parties helping me.
How did you come out on I know the mayor issue is dead for the time being until it comes up again and again. What was your position on that?
My position, and we will indeed continue conversations on this in the next few years, I'll guarantee you that. I came out, the language that the referendum was written, I was against that because I didn't think at this point, with bare bones budgets, layoffs in personnel, cuts in services, that we needed to add 2 more politicians to the city commission. It was a solution looking for a problem, quite frankly, at this point in time now. Elect good city commissioners, if that's the issue.
And then you wouldn't necessarily need a strong mayor. That's what it is.
Right. However, we need to look forward, and I am willing to look forward, if I'm elected city commissioner for the next couple of years, to revisit this conversation depending on how evaluated with the staff and the commission.
I can tell you this, the political consultants that I talk to who are not involved in your race, who are just observing it from the outside looking in, they tell me that this is going to come down to you and Care Julio. It's going to be the 2 of you neck and neck, and it's going to be real close. What is the single sort of biggest difference or defining line between you and him?
Well, first of all, I hadn't heard that. I think the single most, I have been on the trail with Paul and Terry for months now, and I guess the thing I'd zoom in on, because it's getting kind of funny in a way, roundabouts. I, of the 3, seem to favor, and I'm looking at compelling research for them, and I think that's where I differ with both of them.
Okay, so that has become an issue that's come up a lot?
A lot. Many of the forums that we're on, they're always asked that question. What do you think about the roundabouts? And I will say the answer that I've been to all the charrettes and I've viewed the PowerPoint. I did my run at the Clearwater roundabout. I think that the research is compelling, and I think we're not going to spend $50 million anytime soon, and we're not going to get all those roundabouts anytime soon. But I am willing to look at that as part of the overall connectivity process.
Now, Terry Turner has sort of been portrayed, I don't know if he's portrayed himself or other people have, as sort of the anti-growth candidate. Do you agree with that? And if you're pro-growth, I mean, where are you on that?
Yes, growth is good. What I say to people when they say, are you anti-growth or pro-growth? I'm for growth. It's how we grow. It's the smart growth. We are talking even in the county now, having new conversations on what growth means. We're all looking at more new urbanist, driven by the environment, driven by sustainable practices, that we're going to have to start looking at growth differently. We need to grow jobs. We need to me, that's not a negative anymore.
Do you feel that there's a difference between you and Turner on that issue?
Well, I wouldn't know the specific differences. Yes, I've heard that, but I hear at the forums there's balanced views on both parts. No one ever comes out and says, I'm anti-growth. We all talk about smart growth, compatible growth. But as far as glaring, I haven't heard that. I just stay my course with what we need to do, especially with sustainable growth.
Okay, we'll come back with our final segment with City Commission candidate Suzanne Atwell, and then of course we'll have our Weasel of the Week.